And welcome, it's July 16, 2020. I'm not exactly dressed for yoga. Got my nice shirt on. It's long sleeved, but the sleeves tie up, which is nice. It's comfortable. It works for yoga, at least mostly. Bring your big toes together, roll your shoulders up and back, especially if you've just done the plank pose. Do some nice shoulder rotations. And then reverse the direction. Nice. Bit of a shake. Separate your feet and just swing left and right. Let your hands sort of hit your body as you reverse direction. Lead with your hips, not with your shoulders. Just to loosen up and to relax, get the blood flowing. It's nice for the back. And stop that. Toes again together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come to halfway, hands on your shins, extend out through the crown of your head. Push your hips back so you keep on folding, coming lower on your ankles. Maybe even you're all ready to grab the end of your shins, relax your head and let it hang. Your back is still flat, your tailbone is tilted up. Get a stretch in the hamstrings, warming up. And now bend your knees, come up onto your toes. Inhale, keeping your fingertips on the ground, you straighten your legs as much as you can. Exhale, sink back down. So we're going up and down. This is a leg exercise. This is good for your toes, and it keeps warming up the hamstring. If head below heart is not your thing, you can do something very similar. Keep your hands on your knees, squat down, making sure your head is always higher than your heart. You won't get as much of a stretch for your hamstrings, but that's okay. We'll get more hamstring stretch in when we sit down and in our triangles and other poses. But just keep on going. Pick up the pace if you like, but stay under control. Inhale up and exhale down. The human bellows. 5 more times. And then slide your hands up. Slowly roll up to standing. Take your time. Let your head fall back. Lift your collarbones, arms open, palms up. And release. Triangle is a good place to start. Leave the left foot forward, step back with the right. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, tuck the left hip under while the right hip comes over. Arms extend out, left leg straightens as much as it can. But the main thing is that you face the side of the room. Don't forget, as things open and loosen, you can deepen your pose. Staying with good form though. Exhale, look down, release all the straight parts of your body, let them relax. Step to the front. Let's do the left side. Oh, I guess the right side. Yeah, step back with the left foot. Inhale, extend, exhale to fold. And then inhale to extend everything again. And release. Inhale, come up. We're going to do extended triangle, and we're going to work on the core at the same time. Yes, if you've just done core work with us in plank pose, you can ask yourself, why are we doing core again? Because it's good. Inhale, step back with the right foot. Come down to a nice extended side plank, right arm over. And now the core part, which is optional. You release your left arm and you run it parallel with the right. And release. Come back to the front. And we'll do the same on the other side. Step back with the left. Set it all up with some support with the right arm. Left arm comes overhead. When everything is set, release, and right and left arms are parallel. You should also feel this more in the right thigh, the right hip. So it's not just core, we're also getting more into those joints that we want to work and activate. And release. Come back to the front. Shake it out. Now step back with the right foot, keeping the hips parallel with the front of the mat. With the right hand, pass it behind the back, and then hold on to the left elbow with the right hand. As you can see, I'm leaning left and right to get things to work. Do whatever you need. Then bend the left elbow and see if you can't hold on with the left hand to the right elbow. You may only get your forearms. I got my fingertips on my elbows. I'm happy. Inhale, look up. Exhale, stay open as you lean out over the left leg. As you lean over it, the hip is going to migrate to the front. Pull it back so your hips are square to the front of the mat again. And then round your back and look at your shin. Keep pulling the left hip back. Keep pushing the left big toe into the floor. Inhale deeply into this pose. Big stretch for the shoulders. Stretch for the leg at the same time. Inhale, bend that front knee and come up. Release the arms, shake them out, step to the front. Take the left foot back. It's not a long pace. Like what you would take if you're going for a fast walk. Snake the left arm behind the back. Use the right hand to encourage it to come as far as it can. Then grab a hold of the right elbow. Bend that right elbow and try to grab a hold of the left elbow. When we first started doing yoga as a group or as these quarantine sessions, I could not get anywhere close to my elbows. I was grabbing my forearms a good inch or so away. Now my fingertips are touching my elbows. Progress, it's there. It comes with work. Now, as you lean forward, make sure the right knee stays soft so that the back is safe. When you're down as far as you want to get, straighten the right leg, push the right hip back, push the right big toe root into the floor. And you're going to have to keep playing with that because tightness in the hamstring, you're going to try to pull that right hip forward. As the hip goes back, the right big toe is going to want to come up. So you got to think about both of these. And then try to square your shoulders with the floor. Chances are your left shoulder is going to be higher. I think mine is. I can't look up to tell though. So I'll see it when I look at the video later. To release, you inhale, bend the front knee. Come up, let the arms go, step to the front. Big stretch for the shoulders, I find. Now we're going to do another compound pose. It's a balance pose, it's a hip stretch, it's a knee stretch, it's a shoulder stretch. It's called eagle pose. So I will demonstrate all steps. You can do some or part, or if you just want to do the balance, feel free to do a tree or just to stand there and sort of wave your limbs except for one around. It's totally up to you. So for eagle pose, you bend both knees. We're going to do the right side first, or the left side, sorry. Cross the right foot over the left shin, and then if you can, bring it around behind, so you've double wrapped. And the right arm comes over the left. Don't look at the video or else you're going to fall over. Double wrap the arms and then stand up. Try to push through the soles of the feet and the fingertips to lengthen without falling over. That's the hard part. I find balance is difficult here because it's got to be exact. You're in a straight line and you've got no leeway on either side. And release. Tree pose, at least you've got your arms to sort of help with balance. Eagle pose, you do not. So if you want to, just do eagle legs and leave your arms free for balance. It's totally up to you. Right side. Bend your knees. Cross the left. Double cross. Find your balance point, that thing that you're going to look at. Double wrap the arms and then try to extend. Stand up. Excellent. Release. We're going to do one more compound exercise. This is a thigh exercise and a hip stretch and a balance. Now, I did warn you that we've been doing this now for several weeks, months. Things are going to get a little bit difficult, but I'm always going to try to give you options that are easier. So the next one is again a balance, but it's the four, so it's a standing four pose. You know how to do the four pose lying on your back. You know how to do the four pose seated on the ground. If you don't want to do the balance part, feel free to go right onto the ground and do it there.
So I bend my left leg, I cross my right thigh over it into the typical 4, and then I squat down and I lean out to the front. So I'm exercising the left thigh while I'm stretching the right hip. For added fun, you can hook your elbows around your shin, lean forward, and bring your hands to the ground. Leaning the shin then against your upper arms, you'll keep on leaning forward, and if you like, then you take your left foot off the ground. And release. Come back to the squat, and come up. And my foot's bleeding and out all over my nice shirt. Shucks. Cut my toe moving something yesterday. Oh well, such is life. I will rinse it out afterwards. Next side. Bend the right knee, cross the shin over, squat down. Or, like I said, just come to a normal 4 and stay there while we do this stuff. And if you want to, lean further forward so that you can rest your shin on your triceps. Bring your hands to the floor. Sometimes one side is easier than the other. Wish me luck. Lean forward, find your balance, and the right foot, and the right foot comes off the floor. And release, come back, low squat, and come up. Well, I think it's a heart going. Nice. Let's get down to the floor, do some seated poses. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen your back. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, high plank. Squeeze your elbows into your side as you come down to low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then come down to the floor. Cross your ankles and come to seated. All right. Let's take the right foot, grab it, pull it back, stretch it out. Trying to bring the knee down to the ground, even if it refuses to go there. Trying to make sure that your lower back is safe by keeping your core engaged as you stretch the hip and release. Pick up the right foot again, tuck it in to the top of the thigh, the left thigh. That might be enough. You might sit here and you say, okay, I feel something in my knee I don't like. You come right out. Don't sit anywhere where the knee is going to be at risk. Otherwise, you can keep on moving and try to get the edge of your foot. Let me keep the blood off my shirt from a second spot. Sorry for that. And then lean forward over the left leg. Now, as always, if this is not working for you, the right foot comes against the left thigh, like we've done many times before, and you come to a simpler stretch. Simple does not mean less effective. This is just more of a compound stretch. I'm stretching my hip. I'm getting a bit of a stretch in the muscles around the knee, and I'm getting a twist in my leg. So quite a twist like that, which really hits the muscles at the top of the hip. The ones that tend to get very sore and tight. Inhale, release. Let's do the other side. So hip replacements, other joint replacements are very common in our society. And there are many causes. One cause is imbalance in the muscles around the joint. Some are tight, some are loose, and the joint is not working nice and smoothly. Instead, it's always being pulled to one side because the muscles on that side are tight. And so you're wearing out more of that part of the joint until eventually that joint is so out of whack, I guess, that it needs to be replaced. Exercise of many kinds, including yoga, stretching, can limit that sort of damage because it exercises all the muscles, because it works all the parts of the joint and keeps them healthy and a little bit more even. So let's come back on the right side, with the left knee bent, the right leg being stretched. So yoga is no guarantee of long life or no guarantee of fitness throughout life. But certainly the scientific studies strongly suggest that there's quite a positive benefit to having a regular and relatively mild yoga practice. Extreme yoga, where it's contortion, is not great either. One of the most famous and long-lived yoga teachers, Iyengar, he looked at a book. It's called the Yoga Bible, or that's what they call it. It's a picture book on basically all of the, at that time, known or recorded yoga poses, and some of them are real contortions. And he is quoted as having said, when he was asked about his book, "Now that I look back at it and I look at all those pictures, I'm not surprised by some of the injuries that I have." But with yoga, you do need to be careful not to push too fast or too far. And that's in your own practice. And that's also when I'm here trying to lead you through something. If it's not for you, don't do it. Butterfly pose, bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open. Bring your heels in close, or better yet, bring your hips into your heels. Sit up straight and just let your knees relax down towards the floor. And don't forget, with any health program, it includes diet, it includes stretching, it includes strength building, it includes aerobic training. Yoga gives you a bit of strength. Depending on the style of yoga, you get a little bit of aerobic. You get a lot of flexibility. And the other things you're going to have to find from somewhere else. And lean back, bring your knees up, stretch out your legs, roll side to side. Let's do some back bend, starting from easy, going to a little bit less easy. The first one is going to be Sphinx pose. We all know how to do this. Elbows beneath your shoulders, relax. And then pull your ribs forward, lift your chin slightly, look down your nose at your fingertips. We're going to go pretty quickly into Cobra. So from your belly button down, stays in contact with the floor. Everything else gets lifted by engaging your back, the back of your legs, and then finding your hands. Look forward or slightly down. Do not look up. Big space in your shoulders, between your neck and your Your shoulders and your ears. And release. Repeat either the last two or come and add something to it. I'm going to wrap around, grab my foot from the inside, and then I stretch by taking my hand down the top of my foot, fingertips facing or lined up with my ankle, and I pull the right leg down. Big stretch for the front of the body, for the shoulder, for the front of the thigh. And release without letting it snap. Let's do the same on the left side, or you just stay in Cobra or Sphinx, it's up to you. Reach around, grab the foot, and try to pull the foot down beside my hip somewhere. So this is like the one-legged stretch when we lie on the ground and we lean back, only there's a shoulder stretch involved in this as well. So while I do poses like this, you might say, well, I don't need that for my shoulder is tight. But you remember that you can do this lying on your back as well. And then feel free to modify for yourself, especially if you have any kind of a home practice where you do things on other days, or maybe you continue with some poses after we've done these, and you want to sort of learn how to do yoga on your own. Like every teacher, the yoga instructor is happiest when his students no longer need him or her. All right, let's come up to table, cross our ankles, come to lying on the floor. We're going to do fish pose. So from lying down, roll side to side, put your hands underneath your hips, extend your legs again, and then push up with your elbows. Arch your back, lift your collarbones till you've got a nice big arch in your back. Let your head fall back as far as it can go comfortably, lips closed, but your jaws open, and you aim the crown of your head for the floor behind you. Inhale, push onto the ground to get your head off, then lie down flat. Interlace your fingers behind your head, using your arm strength only. Look down at your toes. And then release to come to Shavasana, corpse pose, palms facing up. Everything else just weighs heavy on the ground. Just find every muscle get heavy and soft. Every bone sinks into the floor. And bring some feeling back to your fingers and toes.
Wasn't a very long corpse pose, but I sort of overextended the class. Reach your arms overhead to give yourself a big stretch. Tuck in both knees. And roll over to your right side. Slowly using your arm strength only, push your way up to seated. Cross your ankles. Sit up tall, stretch everything out. Find your head sliding back over your shoulders, and then settle down into natural, healthy curves. Inhale, bring your hands together. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. Not sure if I'll be here tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, if not, then you can always go back and repeat something else. So I hope that you have a nice day, and we'll see about tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.